Let's all rise, please, and have a moment of silent prayer. Immediately after prayer, Commissioner Williams will lead us in the pledge of allegiance to our flag. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the meeting of the Dodge County Commission to order Tuesday, December 16th, 3 minutes past 6 p.m. All commissioners present. Have you had a chance to read the minutes of the previous meeting?
Yes.
Well, I move we accept the minutes as read. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion is carried. Correspondence? I see the correspondence. Have none. Okay. Public comments. We have 9 people signed to speak. We'll give you 4 minutes each. And the first person is Jimmy Lambert. You need to come up and speak in the microphone so it's all recorded, sir.
I ain't never done this before,
That's okay. Just be calm.
I'll try.
I know.
I want to talk about the closing of the house run on Flint side.
Fine.
I understand the state don't take care of it, but everybody every home goes through and keeps the trees and stuff cut out. And to me, that's a fire access road, has to be. There's electric lines go up through there. So if they put gates on top of the hill and the bottom of the hill, what if there's a brush fire? How's the fire department gonna get up there? You know, like I said, I understand, and everybody every home didn't know nothing about this till the other day. I know I can't present you no petition because I'm not on the agenda. But I've already got a petition started, people signed it. You know, I just, you know, I understand their point of view. That road ain't been fixed in God, I don't know how long.
Okay.
But, you know, I just like to have a chance to get some more people in here to say why not to close it down.
Okay.
Because some of us go across the hill and take care of some old people, and that's the shortest route to get there. I understand Mr. Marshall and Mr. Lett, you know. That's all I'm asking, for a little more time.
Okay, I understand that, and I think everybody on the commission understands where you're coming from. I think we understand very thoroughly, at least I do, and I've been speaking with different people, and I don't want to take your time up. I'll say something when you're done. Okay?
That's all I got to say.
Okay, I'll say something to everybody's benefit in the room. Okay. There's a section in the code to handle this road closure, and somebody has to go to Whitemore's circuit clerk and file with him, and then it goes with him and before the judge. Okay. So the county commission approved it at our last meeting, and we can't do anything about it because it is done. It has to go before the circuit court now. That's where you're going, okay? Not being disrespectful.
I'm not, Ralph.
Just telling you what you have to do.
Okay.
And there's a copy of the code here for everybody
Got it right
to read
here.
it? Okay.
So,
Yeah,
I appreciate your time.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bert?
I just wanted to update, last time I was here, I reported updates on the PSD and that the Public Service Commission had requested Dave Kimball and myself to get advisory opinions from the Ethics Commission about whether we could serve on the PSD and be affiliated with the Economic Development Authority. We've received those opinions. We can indeed serve both organizations, so it's no longer a question, and we're back to our regular monthly meeting schedule and have permission to proceed then with the request for qualifications for the county master plan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe Parker, is that right?
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
Welcome.
I'm trying to, was told to attend the meeting tonight, find out, I'm trying to start up small vending part businesses, mobile around here, so like the oil and gas riggers and stuff, and possibly to set up here on the property here at the courthouse for the workers and stuff. And I was just curious as to where I'm limited to do that at.
I don't think the commission can allow you to set up on the courthouse property.
Okay.
I'll speak to the other two commissioners, feel free to speak, but I think that if we let you do it, we're going to have to let every other person that's interested in, I don't think that's in our best interest right now.
Okay.
Charlie, you got anything to say?
I agree with you.
Also, I was wondering about setting up across the highway where the trucks go in and out, where the caution lights are.
We don't have any control over that property over there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we don't.
Okay, thank you for your
That
time.
would probably be the Department of Highways, I would say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mary Jane?
Don't really need this, but
Yeah.
two questions for you. The last time I was in there, I did speak about our road, which is in the very poor order. But second thing, question relating to that, is there a timeline when the large trucks can be on the road during the day? And do they have, two-part question, do they have to always have an escort or pilot truck with those individuals? And then I'll tell you why.
The way I understand it, okay, got this from the State Department, that certain hours in the morning, and I think it's from 6 or 6:30 till 8:30, they can't be on the road because it interferes with school buses.
Okay.
And I think the time in the afternoon is 2:30 to 4:30 or 5. And that is true because I did check that. And what was your other question?
Okay, the timeline on it, and do they not have to have pilot or escort trucks?
They're supposed to have, any of them are tractor and trailers are supposed to have a pilot truck. And if they don't, and they get stopped by certain people, they can be fined.
Okay, because last meeting, when I was here and spoke in regards to the road, going home that day, and I can tell you exactly what time it was, 12:48 on Big Flint Road. I don't know if you know where Chip's residence is located. There's a little curve there coming around. I met three of them, and I stopped because there was not any place for me to go. Had I gone to the right, my truck would have dropped into a culvert, and of course we know what had happened there. Couldn't back up because there was a vehicle behind me. No escort trucks, no pilot trucks. You could not put, and I forwarded them my mirrors because they're automatic. I could not have put my hand in between my truck and those three 18-wheelers. That's how close they were. But what I'm getting at in reference is there was not any warning. And that has happened several times. We have met them, even in squads, we'll meet them and they will not have a pilot truck.
You knew what company it was.
I couldn't look at that and watch my truck at the same time.
Or if it was on Big Flint, it was either Intero or EQT or the company that has the compressor station.
I don't know because, like I
I
said, they
know,
were right
those
on
are the
top of me.
ones, those are the ones that have been traveling Flint.
They were hauling, they were low boys, and they were hauling heavy equipment on the back of those. Okay, second question, in reference to what Jim Lambert had spoke in regards to the road closing. I did not say anything at the last meeting because I wasn't quite aware of some of these things. Yes, there is a utility line that goes up through there, that is HREA. When I spoke to them, obviously, you know, my brother was a lineman for HREA. He said that's our access to get into it. Okay? There is also other people who use that road, me being one myself. It is, okay, accessible. You can get through with a Jeep or an older truck. I wouldn't take mine in there, but it is accessible that way. and it will be filed, it should have been filed with Dwight Moore's office today.
Okay,
on that.
thank you. Mariana, sorry.
Thank you. One thing, I mean, I've checked with state roads also, and the thing with them stopping for the school buses, what they have said is it's a gentleman's agreement between the schools and the companies. The lady that spoke as far as Big Flint is concerned, the other thing, even if they have the pilot trucks, I've come around the curve and the pilot truck has been facing me on my side of the road, okay? They don't always have them. And the primary companies that are dealing with that is Antero, who's accessing Brayton Hill, EQT, that's drilling once again on Brush Run, and then the companies that have the compressor stations on the road. Those are the three that are primarily responsible. And then the other thing, it was brought to my attention that the ambulance authority had a Christmas party last Friday, and I was just curious as to who paid for it. Can anyone answer that?
Yeah,
The DCAA.
we had it on Saturday.
They had it on Saturday?
Yeah.
So who paid for it? Was it paid by people working there, or was it paid by county funds?
I was told it's paid by ambulance authority check.
So that would be county funds?
I guess we do it a roundabout way, I'd say yes.
Because it was my understanding, I missed the last meeting, but it was my understanding that the Christmas party here in the courthouse, that the supervisors or whatever, or the people that are actually working here are going to be paying for it and the commission isn't. So I was just wondering if there was a discrepancy in if they're utilizing public funds. And I don't deny anybody having Christmas celebrations, etc. I don't deny that at all, but if one policy is in effect for county employees working in one facet like the courthouse, then it should be in effect for the DCAA. That's just my own personal opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Lola Clay, you marked you want to speak. You don't want to speak? Okay. Richard Stout.
Thank you for your time this evening. I was only made aware Saturday evening about the proposed closing of the road. It's up past my house. I do intend to go see Dwight, I guess tomorrow. I saw him yesterday. I was told I need to come to this meeting tonight. But I use that road to get access to a well that I have across the hill. And also, based on what she said, there are other gas line right-of-ways that even cross the road. So that is an access road for other companies and so on. But I think that ought to be considered, just because our side of the hill is not maintained. Part of the problem came when the landowner up there had timber removed, and when they left with timber, they left the road in horrible, horrible shape. So that's all the time of yours I'll take on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Tammy Beamer,
I need Bo in here.
Bo.
That's right there in the house.
Where you at, Bo?
It sounds like you called my dog.
Please come.
I have some questions, so I'll come over there. At a couple meetings ago, you spoke about the bridge on Big Flint.
Yes,
Okay, this is the map you gave us?
yes.
It was my understanding that the county's engineering firm had worked on this map, had worked on getting this problem solved. Is that so?
They're still in the process.
Who's going to be paying, or who's going to be billed for that service?
We don't know yet. What we're doing, the only thing we're doing right now is we're looking at the project. And the CME engineering firm is going to be doing some, surveying and looking at some different potentials as to how we can get that bridge out of there and what we can replace it with.
Was this bridge approved originally by the
Army Corps of
Army Corps of
Engineers.
Engineers?
We do not know. We do not know.
Has anybody checked it?
I have contacted Army Corps and they're like, well, I don't know. So, the same thing, because we wanted Army Corps to actually come out and work with us on the bridge. We've got DOH on board. They're working with us. Army Corps said, well, whatever DOH wants to do is fine with us. That's literally what they said in Huntington.
Okay,
Now, that's not
this
what
is
I'm going
a
to
bridge
accept as
that
the final answer.
services a private residence and wells
That's correct.
that was built by
CNG.
CNG for a permitted well site, which means they had to have the approvals before they could get their permits. Okay, the bridge on Route 23, have you made it over there yet?
No, Ralph, was that one of the ones that you looked at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can probably speak to that one more in detail than I can.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Okay, was it permitted?
No permits,
No permits?
no permits.
What, does it provide service to the residents?
No,
And what type of a shape is it in
very
compared to
poor,
this one?
very poor.
I know that I didn't bring pictures tonight because I couldn't get my printer to work. But I know that both ends are washed out.
Yes,
The bridge is heaved up on the backside
yes.
and it's plugging up the creek.
Jim
And
Foster,
what's been done on it?
that I do not know. Ralph, I
Jim
was,
Foster and one of his fellows, we went out there Saturday and looked at both bridges. And he thought that they could help us out. And they're kind of talking like they can't touch anything, they can't touch no bridges, they can't do this, they can't do that. The only thing they can do is remove debris from the stream when it falls, like a tree upwards, they can remove it. They can't cut a tree down. So they're going to let me know if they can help us do anything.
Okay, but the same deal for a bridge that is not being used. It doesn't access anybody's home. Why isn't our floodplain people doing something?
why is it what?
Why haven't you taken the same action for that bridge that has an oil and gas company attached to it, that doesn't service the resident, that you're having done on one that's actually providing people with a way into your home
So you're talking about the one on 23?
on 23?
Okay. Well, again, Ralph has visibility, more visibility on that one than I do.
That was turned into you 6 months ago, though.
Well, I've been working on this one.
The bridge on 23, the gas company that's responsible for that is JP Oil and Gas. They put it in, they did their drilling, and they just left it. They did not have any permits from Army Corps of Engineers. They did not have a permit from the West Virginia DEP, the 404. So, and then they finished what they did, and they just left it.
When was that done?
It's probably been there for like four or 5 years, I'm not sure the date. That other bridge that you're talking about on Flint, if you want somebody responsible for it, CNG put it in. I travel that road all the time. When they originally put it in, they must have had 4 or 5 different ones in there because they kept getting washed out. And it was every time we had a rain or flood, it got washed out, so they finally got something that worked. But CNG put it in for a well. Well, the well that's on there right now, CNG sold all their stuff to CNX or Consolidated Coal. Well, CNG, which is Dominion now, did not sell all their the pipelines going to these wells. So CNG or Dominion has some responsibility, as does Consol. All right? So if you're having all these engineering studies and stuff like that done, those companies I mean, have you contacted people at those companies? And what has their response been?
As of right now, not really too much. What the approach that I'm going to try to take is, the big emphasis is, from my standpoint, is that in this particular instance, I can't speak to Route 23 that well. For the one on Big Flint, it needs to come out of there. Regardless, it needs
If
to come
you,
out.
do,
Hold on,
okay,
please let me explain, okay? Hold on. It needs to come out. That's the biggest thing. So the question being is, who's ultimately responsible and who can benefit from the replacement of that bridge and alleviation of the problems. Okay, the other problem, the big problem that is with that particular instance is that the water, the way that the water is coming down, is actually bringing out the bank and it's going to impact Big Flint Run. According to one of the locals, it's eaten quite a bit of that bank out over the past 10 years. And so eventually that's going to impact Big Flint Road. So what we're trying to do is work with a conglomeration of DOH, because they've got some skin in the game, because if that continues to shoot the way it is and back up the way it is, then that's going to have negative impact on them financially, because they're going to have to come in there short of the road service. Okay? So DOH has got some skin in the game. We've got some skin in the game as the county commission to try to make sure that we're protecting the folks upstream. The landowner has skin in the game because they actually travel that bridge and it's on their property. Consul has skin in the game because they're the ones who are actually maintaining it, quote unquote, as of right now, so they can have access to their stuff, as well as Army Corps and DEP. So we're trying to get everybody engaged. The first step that I've taken is to try to get the engineering firm to come in, look at the entire project, come up with some recommendations as to what we should do.
okay,
Okay? Once we get that done, then we can go back to the companies, and we can go to DOH, and we try to get everybody in the room and say, okay, here's the problem. Here's what, we have some possible solutions. How can we work together to do this and make this project happen? We can't just be on the bill for it as the county itself, because it's going to be a lot. So we're trying to get everybody into the game to get this bridge replaced. Now, it would be the same process probably on the one on 23.
Okay, one last question. Have you ever, well, it's a two-part question. Have you ever received a written complaint about the bridge you're working on? And have you ever, or has anybody ever come in and presented a verbal complaint to the commission?
Verbal complaints, yes.
To
I
the
don't-
commission in a meeting? To the whole commission?
I don't know if the commission, they've contacted me. And I have the gentleman's name in the file, but he's a neighbor that lives up the road about 1.5 miles, lives actually on the opposite side. But he was concerned about both his property and the lady that lives in between his property and the bridge. She lives in a trailer down off the side of the road, and her property gets flooded a lot because of the backup from that bridge. So he's the one that actually contacted me, went out and showed me the bridge initially. Then I've had Commissioner Robinson, I've had Commissioner Santagora out to look at the bridge, and so that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Excuse me, I have one. So if you're approaching this low water bridge with this type of a procedure, are you going to approach every low water bridge along Flint with the same situation? Because I know of another one that's downstream from that is washing out the bank. And as a matter of fact, that the person's footbridge collapsed because the bank was so far washed out and it's in the floodplain. And you know, that person at least cleans out the culverts when they dam up. But after driving Flint for 30 years, and I watched the process with the bridge you're talking about, I hardly ever see anybody cleaning up the debris, and that's part of the problem.
Right, exactly.
But every low water bridge that we have in the county is pretty much based on that same design. So every low water bridge that's in the floodplain, are you looking at having the same process go on and having all of them replaced?
No, not necessarily. This one, from my perspective, I can only, if you know something and it's bad, tell me, please. Yeah, and I've said that before. Tell me about it and we'll look into it. I apologize if I haven't taken enough action with the Route 23 to satisfy. I apologize.
It's a very much a mess,
Okay.
you know, and nobody uses it. That's just it. It's not gonna hurt.
I'd like to make a comment here. We've got two different sides to this story. We've got complaining about a Route 23 bridge, and we've got complaining about our trying to take some action to alleviate a problem and see where we stand. So, you know, we're kind of between a rock and a hard place here. You know, I think the people need to decide what they want to see done and then convey that to us. You know, for us to either ignore everything or for us to make some attempts. And we can't do it all at once. Bo's one man, and we have to take steps. So that's, you know, I'm standing behind Bo, and you know, that's what I got to say about that issue.
Well, I got a little input. Shirley, go ahead. When I was with Jim Foster and the other guy, I can't remember his name, but I guess he's somebody that works out in Morgantown, told me that a low water bridge does not force any water backing up. It has no effect. That's just what you told me, okay? I'm not an engineer, I'm not a bridge builder. I'm repeating what I was told. He said the biggest problem over here is clean the trash out from under.
Well, the big one, I know that and again, I can't talk to Route 23 that articulately. The one on Big Flint, the problem is that the bridge structure itself collapsed. It got eaten out on one side, and so the bridge, instead of staying level, is down this way. So one side of the bridge, probably 3 culverts, I think it's 6 culverts total, 6 or 7, and I think 2 or 3 of them are totally basically underground. And instead of trying to come back in and reshore that, bring that back up to level and fill in, the company just came in, and I think it was Consol, just came in and just dumped a bunch of concrete there, dumped a bunch of concrete along the side of the bank, put up some meshing and called it good. Well,
They have a floodplain permit to do
it's
that?
doing the same thing. No, not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge at all.
Sure.
So,
I think that happened before.
yeah, it happened before I came on board with this.
That was before a lot of this happened.
Yes.
So, you know, that is not only, that's a danger because of all of the loose, and you can look at the photographs from that bridge to show that the concrete that they did place down has worn out too and has fallen down into the creek, which that now provides a flooding hazard downstream. So that's an issue that I'm intimately familiar with, and we're trying to take the steps and trying to go through the appropriate steps to get everybody in the room talking and trying to resolve the issue and the problem. Now, not every single low water bridge has an issue or has a problem. We're not going to go around and trying to replace 40 and 50-year-old bridges or 20-year-old bridges that were implemented well before the floodplain standards even existed. If they've got a problem and they're causing problems and flooding back upstream, then the onus of responsibility for us from a public safety standpoint is to try to do something about that without negatively impacting the taxpayers of the county to a great extreme. That's why we're trying to get everybody into the boat. If I could just go in and remove that bridge, replace it with a box culvert and be done with it, great, I would do that in a heartbeat. But we can't just do that. We have to try to get everybody together to see how we can do this and how we can work this together. And again, this is my first shot at this. This is my first effort in trying to get everybody to the table and trying to work on a project of this scope. It's a very small scope, but at the same time, it is a large scope nevertheless. So it's not a question of trying to go after low water bridges if that's the complaint. We're just trying to alleviate an issue that has been brought to our attention and that I agree is dangerous.
I wish, Bo, I just have one thing to say. I think it's great you're pursuing this stuff, but I just wish you had taken, or the commission had taken, this type of a stance when the floodplain permits were issued for the Mark West plant, because the effects of that and what they did with filling in the floodplain is a heck of a lot more dangerous to the community members in Douglas County.
Okay, I gotta apologize, I skipped over somebody here. My fault. Marcy?
I'm on the agenda. When I signed out, I didn't know I was on the agenda.
Okay, I'm
so
sorry.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
no problem.
Okay, Richard Beck?
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Can I give you exhibits?
You can give us anything.
All right. Okay.
As long as it's not a weapon.
Nope, no weapons.
Do you have an extra?
I'm here tonight, I'm not going to be talking about floodplains or any high dollar tax projects or anything like that. I'm just here because I think it's time to honor a couple women in this community who should have been honored probably a long time ago. First of all, when I drive in and out of West Union every day, I see a sign, and it's a sign to Susan Robinson, who was just a tremendous athlete here in the county and then made All-American. Well, I just think it's time that Susan had a couple of companions on that sign. I'm referring to a girl named Jenny Spencer Wright, and a Clara Grant Santucci, who were both tremendous athletes in this community. First of all, Jenny made All-American as a high school athlete when she was at Dodgers County High School. Went on to the Naval Academy, is now a pilot, and had a very distinguished athletic career at the Naval Academy. And she was selected to be an All-American in the 50 free, which is a stroke, if you don't know anything about swimming, and the 100-meter backstroke. And, to me, that's just an amazing honor. I mean, all this, well, I don't want to step on any toes, but pretty much all this county cares about is football and basketball. That's pretty obvious. Here we've got two more women to add to this sign, that we should add to this sign, who are just phenomenal athletes. A second one I'm talking about, this one is, her name is Clara Grant. Clara Grant Santucci. She's now married.
Could you spell that?
Spell that? Santucci. She actually, both these girls went to school with my daughter, and my daughter was on both of these, the swim team and the running teams. And Clara Grant is still a world-class athlete. I'm going to make a prediction right now that you will see her in the Olympics in 2016. She just barely missed out in 2012. She was an All-American 4 different times at WVU, 1 in cross country, 1 in indoor track, and 2 in outdoor track. She just recently won the Pittsburgh Marathon. She recently got 3rd, I think, in the Boston Marathon. I think that was last year. And she recently, in October, she was the 2nd American to cross the finish line in the Chicago Marathon. So, I could go on and on with her. She's just got so many honors. But, and she's still training. I mean, she's got sponsors. She's just a world-class athlete right now. I mean, she's ranked very high in the world, and I saw her a few weeks ago running around West Union, and I thought, what a shame that she can't see her name on that sign. I mean, nobody's petitioned me or anything to do this. It just, something came to my mind, she should be up there too. So I just really feel strongly that it's time to add a couple more names to that sign and, honor these young women. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's see if we put this on our agenda for our next meeting, please. We'll act on it. Sorry, we can't act on it tonight.
Okay. Actually, here's a couple more if you guys would like to look at.
That's really nice.
A long time ago.
I know. But we can make recommendations. Yeah.
Celebrates on.
Oh.
what about a proclamation honoring all three? And then proceeding with that, with your proposal?
That's fine with me. I don't think the commission's authorized to authorize to sign anybody's names. I think that went through the Douglas County High School with Susan Robinson, if I'm not mistaken. I remember being here at the meeting. What was the principal's name, Mr. Bennett? Wasn't he here?
Yes.
And I think they went through the high school with that, but I understand where you're coming from, and we'll do all we can to do something here, okay? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That ends public comment,
Except
except Greg and Kirk.
personally, I want to reserve my time until after the last item on the agenda, if that's okay.
What's the last item? Which one?
Decision on H&H study, Ross Price.
Okay, all right. You can, all right?
Okay.
No comment.
No comment. Okay. New business. Sign order for road abandonment. Now, the commission did approve it the last meeting, and we need to sign the order. We did approve it, so it's our duty to sign it. And it's the duty of the people that's contesting what we did to go to Dwight Moore's office, and it will be handled through that office. The commission is free from everything as of tonight, am I correct? The copy of the code are there for everybody to read, and my understanding is that it'll go before Judge Swing. Am I correct?
Right.
Okay. All right.
I would like to tender the order. I have a copy of the order and the deed for each of you, and then one to be signed and returned to me. I would like to point out, since there was mention tonight, I mean, it was published in accordance with the code. Anybody who had a concern about not having notice, they did have notice in accordance with the code. So I want to assure the commission that they didn't do anything incorrect in that regard, that there was proper notice given. And I can leave those with you to look at, and then if, Ms. Rogers, if you don't mind, you could mail it back to me. I tendered it at the last meeting, it's part of your record. Yeah, I did, I know I did. I tendered it at the very beginning of my presentation, copy the order. They have another one with me. The order I have. I don't mean the order, I mean the publication. I apologize. I know I do tender it. Here's another copy. Yeah, make sure that's a certified copy. Are there any other questions or requests?
No, ma'am, not this time. I have none.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I need a motion to sign the order.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved to sign the order. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Which one does she want to sign? All three of them?
You only need to sign one.
Do you want me to call her back?
No.
That you only need to sign one, the others are just courtesy copies.
Okay.
See what you're saying.
Item B, Little Island Creek Project. We have a couple bids.
You had.
Again, you. Again, you last meeting.
If you were gonna talk to you said you were gonna check those through investor or the.
Oh, okay.
Personal thing
Okay.
first.
Okay. All right, yeah, I did.
That has to be signed from the notary.
All right. I did talk to, I guess you call him the warden. Well, no, I never got to talk to the warden. I talked to his assistant about, it was brought to my attention, maybe we could get the prisoners, I guess you call them prisoners, up Salem, to work on this project. And the man that I talked to is in charge of all the work details. And he said that they have like 4 or 5 work details out right now, working for the state road, working for the city of Salem, da-da-da-da. Some of them are working in Douglas County. And he said, we really don't have any more people to do that. And I said, explain to me what the commission would have to do if we did get people to do it. First of all, we have to pick out somebody and hire him as a supervisor. He's got to go to school to learn how to supervise the people. Second of all, we got to have transportation to go pick up the people every morning. We got to feed them. We got to take them home every evening. We got to buy all the tools they need to do the projects. And right now, they had nobody to even give us. I said, okay, thank you for your time. So we have 2 bids I'm going to open, and we're going to award somebody a bid to clean the brush. $17,500.
Who was that?
James R. Samples, P.O. Box 245, Salem, West Virginia. $17,500.
They're the ones that did it before, right?
I understand he did. Feline Excavation and Construction Incorporated, 229 Mount Clair Road, Clarksburg, West Virginia. Proposal for Middle Island Creek Snagging and Cleaning Project. Got the price yet? So he's got all his insurance and all that and everything here. I haven't seen a price yet.
Is it in the envelope?
Better slow down and read some more here. I haven't seen a price. Okay, I read too fast, sorry. Feline Excavation offers a firm fixed price of $20,359 to complete this effort. We trust you will find this proposal satisfactory. I look forward to performing for Douglas County. So, what's the pleasure of the commission?
I would say it probably needs done.
Well, it does need that. It has been done for several years.
One question
Yes,
pertaining to the questions that came up before,
yes.
is this Doddridge County's responsibility? Who owns the streams?
When the Army Corps of Engineers comes in and checks on it, the commissions and all that, go to.
I was just bringing that up as a, I don't, personally don't have a problem with it, but, and
I know from past experience that I worked on that program here 40 years ago, and the commission, I did work for the commission.
right.
That's all I can tell you. I don't know anything else.
Well, I only brought that issue up because of the previous comments about the bridge, but,
Right, okay.
because this seems to be something very similar to me. But, with that being said, I will move that we accept the bid from Mr. Samples of $17,500.
2,500. Motion's been made to accept the bid from Mr. Sample, $17,500. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, Mr. Sample received the bid. Clerk, will you notify
Yes, I
his people?
Is he going to have floodplain permit application?
Do what?
A floodplain permit application, it's
No.
over $1,000.
No. Don't even go there. Why would it? Here, will you pass
It's
that?
over
Thank you.
$1,000.
Thank you. Okay, item C, snow removal around courthouse and parking lot.
I had that put on the agenda and I had put on for the last meeting and I didn't get the response in time. But the reason I had that put on the agenda, we have had situations here at the courthouse in the past where employees have had to go out and shovel snow. And some of them have been women employees. And I realize I could be opening myself up there, but the,
Well, not that you.
but the point is, employees should not have, when I say employees, I'm talking about secretaries and clerks in the various
have
offices.
elected officials actually.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that you have. The point is that we tried to address this issue, and it's a problem with the courthouse employees that would be part of their duty. So I took it upon myself to contact a local contractor, a local gentleman that is willing to do that. And I have a snow plowing bid, and it is I, William L. Trent II, would like to bid on snow plowing for the following location in the amount of $250 per plowing time for the upcoming winter season. This would cover snow plowing at the Doddridge County Courthouse parking lot beside the museum and parking area around the courthouse. He's referring to the section down on the street where courthouse employees angle park down there. Also, that would cover the shoveling of snow on the sidewalks around the courthouse, but does not include the steps coming up from Main Street. He gives contact information, and that's the proposal.
Now, our guy that's working in the place for Mark, does he live locally, close to here?
He had asked if you, the other day when it was going to snow, he asked if you could come in an hour early and show the snow that's snowed. I told him if the snow, I didn't think it's going to, but there was the possibility. He just wanted to know ahead of time. But he was going to come in and do it, come in early, so he had still have time to mow and stuff. But, I don't know, even with that.
Does that bid also include the streets that you were paying the city to do?
Pardon?
Does that include the streets around the courthouse that you all were paying the city to do?
Yeah. The city done the streets around the courthouse. They done the parking lot if they had time, according to what Beth said, is that right?
Yeah, after they get the streets.
But does the bid cover the streets too?
Well, I'd like to say something about this, Greg. If the guy that we got working here is willing to come in an hour early on his nose to do that work, I would love to see him do it. And if Mr. Trent wants to plow off the parking lot, I have no objections to that whatsoever. What do you say, Shirley?
From off the bed, I don't know.
Huh?
That may,
Well, I don't know. But we got a person working here that's willing to come in
Right.
early to do it. And I'd say we probably ought to let him do it. You know, he's working for us. And if I'd say the time ever comes he didn't want to come in early and do it, then we'd have to. That's my opinion.
That, the only issue that I would have is, he is part-time and we've never discussed the length of time that he's going to be employed. I think the assumption was that he would be employed until we had the 2 janitors back to 100% duty. I think that was probably the assumption that we all had. And if the gentleman, I mean, I don't have any problem with him doing it as long as it solves the problem.
Yeah.
And I personally don't want to be here every year for the next 4 years at this time of year saying, what are we going to do
No,
when it snows?
I understand.
And so that's the reason I took it upon myself. I didn't see, at the time that I did this, I didn't see any other possibilities.
Well, I don't think the gentleman was working here at the time.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't, yeah. I understand. I understand. Yeah, that's my feeling. I would like him to have a chance at it anyway. If it didn't work out, then we'd have to make different arrangements. So he is working here with us, for us. He shows interest that he wants to come in and do it.
Personally, I don't have any problem with that.
Okay.
I just want the problem solved,
I know.
is what I want.
I know. So do you want to award Billy, you want to talk to him about another contract just plowing off the parking lot, or is he not interested in that?
I'm sure that he would be.
Okay.
I can get back with him if that's what you want me to do.
Okay. Well, I'm one person. I spoke my opinion.
Okay.
that's what we should do, to see what he'll do to do the road, those streets.
Okay.
So give this guy a chance.
Okay, I will get back with him, and if you would put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay. And Beth, whenever, what is his name, Carl? If he asks about that again, just tell him.
I'll talk to him and see what he
The sidewalk needs cleaned, so I can come in early and
I told him it's okay that day, but it's after. And I haven't had a chance.
That's fine, yeah. Okay, thank you. Item D, Historical Society Blockhouse Cemetery Association. I don't know what's going on there. Can you fill me in?
I have no idea about that.
Well, I got it, someone else called, but Patty, to talk to you about that. She thought there was still something else you had to agree to. And I'm not sure what it was. Something with the baby kids.
Oh,
Her, was that her dad?
Yes.
That's all it was.
Died yesterday.
oh gee, sorry. You want to put it on the agenda for next meeting?
Table it.
I'll move we table, put it on the agenda next meeting. Okay, E, set dates for review and equalization.
They should give you those dates for as a suggestion. Maybe what the code says to do.
January 30th.
It's okay to me.
I won't be here.
Well, that's right.
Is it okay to you, Ronnie? I'll move that we accept the recommended dates for the board of review review meetings. Review and equalization.
What are the
Motion's
dates?
been made to set the dates for review and equalization meeting. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. F, website. Maintaining website out for bid. I did contact superintendent of schools. I did talk to him. And he was supposed to get back with me, and he has never called me back, and I understand they're kind of busy right now, and I kind of just didn't push him for any more information, but I never received anything back from him. I asked him to ask those people if they would be interested and let me know. I have no information for you tonight. Anybody else have any information? You can speak up now. I will pursue this matter again if you want me to.
I'd say we table it and you pursue it again.
Okay, fine. G, courthouse security, executive session. I move we go into executive session for personnel. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Executive session, 7 p.m. Go on in and sit down, relax. We're going on a 10-minute break.
Now, I'm leaving this stupid camera on because last week, whenever you did this, I got it messed up, and I didn't do anything the whole second half of the meeting. Didn't videotape nothing.
How you like that? Oh, my.
How's the dog training going, Shirley?
He's great.
Oh, yeah?
He was a class clown.
Okay.
Oh, my.
I'm not happy. What do you think that I was asking?
I'm trying to do a nice meeting. There's too much conflict in this county. I hate to say that, but that's rich. You got party
Well, as soon as you put that in, everybody would try to follow.
I want my money set. We have been talking about, he said, well, we'll do something. Bring something else in and go, well, we got that more to do with it. You got that. No, not even, it's still decent. If you got some cool lanes, you don't want one to show. Then place up there, spikers across the whole thing. Maybe not to have, you know, places outside of my door. Other team, garden, things like that. I mean, you said that the person speaking. Because you got one apartment person, it's like you've got one and you got Subway, and you got Gary. Yeah, I'm talking about major fast food. I'm talking. We have not been talking about one fast food restaurant.
They go where
Yes, sexual appropriation, so when you're on the make work
I said, donuts.
Yeah.
So anyway, but she didn't want
They're going to go right back into Gray. After his floodplain, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right, yes.
Doesn't matter. We go back in regular session. Okay, I move we go back in regular session, 7:41. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? Nay. Ayes have it. Back in regular session. Let's see, we got to get over here. Over here to the approved draft of comprehensive plan agreement, Douglas County and Town of West Union. I think that might be you, Mr. Earl.
They have copies of those? They have copies of those agreements? Okay.
I think you emailed a copy, and I read it.
Yeah, I got it marked up a little bit, but that'll work anyway, because when you talk about that. What we've done after you guys,
Well, wait a minute. We probably better do this now.
is that on? Yes.
I don't know if she has the recorder on.
It's
Oh,
on.
wait.
Is it?
I think it's on.
Or say recording.
If it wasn't on this quick, it wouldn't be working, I don't think.
After you guys voted to move forward with comprehensive planning with the WVU College of Law, I contacted them, they drafted these agreements. What the agreements are, the city's looking at the same agreements that you'll be looking at here tonight. One's an agreement with the College of Law Land Use Clinic, saying that we're gonna work together, the city and the county are gonna work together, and you're both gonna work together with them to create a comprehensive plan. There's 4 pages of that. The other document is spelling out some detail then between the county and the city, saying that we're gonna work together and create a comprehensive plan. April has reviewed them, correct?
Yes.
And I spoke to her, you have no
My question.
questions or recommendations. The guy that wrote them for the law clinic left a couple of things in draft, and I asked him about those, and I'd like to get them plugged in tonight and see if you're in agreement with them, we could approve them. I'll have them send signable copies then. The city attorney's reviewing them as well. They haven't heard back from him, but they're not anticipating any questions. If we can get both entities signed up on these papers, the next thing the law clinic will do is draft an ordinance for forming a planning commission for your review. So sometime.
And that planning commission is, as you indicated, the members of the public that you suggested?
That's up to you all.
Well, but that
It
was the,
could be. It's spelled out in state code pretty explicitly. You have to have representation of, the members have to have, let me grab that instead of trying. It's almost my bedtime.
what I was getting at was the planning commission was that commission that the.
That's what we were recommending,
Yeah,
extension and EDA.
Okay.
They have to be residents, qualified by knowledge and experience in matters pertaining to the development of the jurisdiction. Each governing body's got to be represented. So yeah, this is part of the state code concerning comprehensive plan.
What's the state code on that?
It's 8A, or yeah, chapter 8A. While we're waiting, that's why I was excited about this group, is they got a process that takes you through and has a product that meets the state code, and the total process in about a year.
Until we have a comprehensive plan?
At the end of the year,
Is that what you're saying?
we will have at the end of the process. So what's your pleasure? Do you want to read these through, browse them, see if you got, there's a couple of, places on each one that I'd like to clarify. Jesse Richardson from the Law Clinic wrote these. He's one of their attorneys.
And these are the ones that April reviewed?
Yes.
That's the exact copy of what you reviewed.
Okay.
Actually, I think maybe not the exact copy, because I got mine from West Union. They're the same thing, but West Union's references West Union, the one agreement does, yeah.
See that one highlighted?
Yeah, he didn't know, he highlighted that because he didn't want to do
Well, it kind of goes along with one comment that was made in the meeting tonight. The client may be required to provide monetary, and I assume we would be the client.
Actually, you have given the EDA, the county commission has given the EDA 10,000 a year ago. We have spent none of that. That should more than cover any associated costs with this process.
But it's the client may be required to provide monetary resources for the following, including but not limited to refreshments and
Yeah.
public meetings. Anyway. Upon April's recommendation,
I got a couple of,
okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
if you're ready to hear our recommendations here, there's a couple of places there I'd like to. If you look at the retainer agreement, it's called, that's the biggest one.
Yeah,
Item number 9
right,
wants a designated representative. Mr. Richardson, the attorney, says that that is typically the county commission president and the mayor for the city. I asked him, I said, can that be like Beth and Joe Cross? And he said, typically that's the president of the county commission and the mayor of the city. So I mean, what you would be approving, you would need to approve that in there. Item number 20, what was that? Simply is they use a lot of student clinicians and they do their work after the meetings. They like to video record some of the meetings. You need to check off that you do or do not consent to recordings on that one. The last one he questioned was 28, the one you just mentioned. And he had that highlighted to see if we needed it in there. I mean, there's not a problem with it. Like I said, the EDA has $10,000 of money set aside for this. So I'm recommending just leaving it as it is in there with the understanding that we have 10,000.
is there anything on the agreement for county comprehensive plan?
Yes.
We have to do that separately, right?
Makes sense, maybe.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is that you consider this with, on paragraph 9, Mr. Sandora as the designated representative. On paragraph 20, that you do consent to the recordings and that we leave paragraph 28 in.
I will move that we agree to the retainer agreement with the provision that Article 9, that Mr. Sandora or the president of the president of the county commission be designated as the individual. On paragraph 20, that the client does consent to recordings, and that paragraph 28 be left in the agreement.
Motion has been made, all in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
I believe the only thing on the agreement for the county for comprehensive plan was on the first page, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th paragraph. And this was done from a boilerplate draft that they have. It says, whereas the Doddridge County comprehensive plan was last updated, and that's highlighted because he didn't know. I asked him and have written consent here to change that to whereas the town and Doddridge County desire a comprehensive plan as a whole. So, but the town, to my knowledge, has never had one, and it's been a long, long time for us, so that makes more sense than trying to put a date on it.
What was your recommendation?
My recommendation on that paragraph, oh, you have copies of my note, the one with the asterisk beside it, yeah, is whereas the town the town, that's what it refers to. Whereas the town and Doddridge County desire a comprehensive plan.
Okay. I will move that we agree to the agreement for the county comprehensive plan with the provision that in paragraph 5, it be changed to whereas the town and Doddridge County desire a comprehensive plan.
Okay, motion's been made. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
Thank you. As soon as the city goes through this same little process, we'll either be back with a different document or a hard copy when you're, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Last order, decision on H&H study, Ross property. I move we go into executive session at 7:55. All in favor? Aye? Aye. All opposed? Nay. Ayes have it. We go into executive session.
Are we moving out again?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, I invite you to stay, please. I got a cool breeze blowing through that window. No, open up some more of them. I move we go back into regular session at 8:07. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, we're back in regular session.
I move that the county commission agrees to complete the H&H or hire the engineering firm to do the H&H study.
Motion has been made, we hire the engineering firm to do the H&H study. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Nay. The ayes have it. Bo, I'm looking for your name on here.
Number 9.
Okay.
No. Okay. All right. Make sure baby's on here. Okay. Okay, not a lot of activity. There was no report for last commission meeting because there just wasn't anything that came in. But since my last report, we have a total of 4 new applications, all 4 of those entirely out of the floodplain. So between the last commission meeting and this one, I have a total of 7 that have been approved. That includes the 4 that were received that were not in the floodplain, and 3 of which were in the floodplain. 14-275, which was for Antero Beach Lick Road improvements in the New Milton District. 14-293, EQT Production Company, the MOSA S010 pipeline, also in the New Milton District. And 14-297 for Antero Resources, which was the Martin Slip Access Road in the New Milton District. That was the actual, after the initial emergency permit that was issued to give them access to go in and make their immediate repairs. This was the full permit that they applied for to go in and do the full solid repairs and make everything long-term stable. So those were approved. And we still have a total of 10 that are pending, that are still pending. A couple of those are just about ready to be, most of the permits have been received. We're just waiting on 1 or 2 other permits, and a couple of those are ready to rock and roll. Some of them still have a ways to go with some of the permitting that they need. I've got for you all, we received data, and I've got copies of it up here, from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. If y'all want copies of this, this is the Monroe to Cornwell project, Monroe to Cornwell project. This is a pipeline that starts in Wetzel County, goes south through Doddridge at the LL Tonkin station and down into Kanawha County. So they sent out this notice. I printed out extra copies. And what I did was I took the data that was included in this basic package and I made a press release into it, or at least an announcement like we do with our regular floodplains. And I forwarded this on to the newspapers today, both in electronic, and you got a hard copy of it. So, and this is basically, we're not really required to do this ourselves, but I wanted to get this information out there for public information. It is once completed, the pipeline will carry 205,000 decatherms per day of firm transportation service and will consist of new facilities and equipment in all 3 counties to include an additional 12,552 horsepower of compression, 1 new gas cooler, 1 new filter separator, and new suction discharge tie-ins, and other minor modifications at the existing LL Tonkin compressor station in Doddridge County. So FERC is looking for public comments on the project. Deadline is January the 12th of 2015, that all the public comments have to be back in, and I gave all 3 of the ways that folks can send in their comments to FERC for that project. Other than that, we already talked about the bridges, we talked about the litigation. I've got nothing else.
Bo,
Yes.
did you get anything about a north-south pipeline running through the eastern edge of the county?
I think that's the one he's talking about.
No, this one's Dominion. The
Yeah.
one that, Dominion down at Tonkin Station.
Right.
This other it's another one, and there's a public meeting January 26th.
I don't know that I've received anything on that.
Well, see, I noticed that this is done on January the 12th,
The public comments
Yeah.
are
but there's
deadline.
going to actually be a hearing out at the park on this other one.
Okay, all right. Very good.
If she wants to come.
Anything else? All right. Let me make sure I check my list. That's it. Check it twice. I checked it once, checked comments twice. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bo. Okay. That's all our business with, no, sorry, public comment, sorry, almost forgot.
My comments, first, Tammy, can you answer me a question? I haven't had a chance to see the Herald Record this week. Were there any corrections published in the?
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
13,000 to 1,300.
Okay.
My fingers got a little bit, I brought it down to 1,300.
It was actually 1,000.
Well, he had asked for 1,300, is what you are talking.
He hadn't asked for any specific amount. He asked for if we would donate,
Okay.
and it was just a.
Then I'll recorrect myself next week, but I understood that it was 13 families, $100 family.
What about the comment about the Antero royalty? Was there any correction there? Well, I guess you could say technically you presented the facts. However, it's a situation where you just added up the
Everything in
pluses
and
and
everything.
minuses, and that doesn't convey the true picture, because what it conveyed was that the county received $80-some thousand in royalties, and we had $50-some thousand in deductions, which is not correct. The check stub had a negative, which was a deduct, $41,673.99, but that was for July 14th. And if you look at the first check we received, it has exactly the same amount as a positive. Now, what oil and gas companies do, if there is a net $15 correction, they don't just give you $15 on your check stub. They go back and they zero out the production for the previous month in all categories, and by putting a negative figure in, they zero out that production and then add in the proper production. So to say that there's 80-some thousand dollars and 50-some thousand dollars in deductions, if you just looked at that, that may be what it says, but that's not what it says.
You still got $29,000 out of it.
We got 29,000.
And whenever you added it all together, you come up with 80,000.
No,
And whenever,
that's not correct. You know, if you're going to say, and let me go on and say, to me, I can only see two possible reasons why you would say it in that manner. One is that you're mathematically challenged, and I don't think that's the case. Or
considering Kay went over the figures, yeah, go ahead.
well, okay, that's what did I tell you, Betty? It doesn't matter to me who goes over these figures. They're going to come to the same conclusion that I did, that the production for the month is what it is, and the other figures are merely corrections for a previous month. Now, as I said,
but if you
I don't think you're mathematically challenged. I think that it is an effort to show that this commission may have been less than diligent in our dealings with Antero, and this is the way that they deal with every single royalty owner that they have, and you know that because you get royalty checks. The other thing that we discussed was the market enhancement, and I gave you my understanding of what they said. Actually, I went back and rethought, and when I was asking the gentleman about market enhancements, I said, is that something similar to the line loss that companies deduct? And he said, something similar to that. Well, I called and got an explanation. And what the market enhancements are is they do marketing enhancements, which increases the amount of money that they receive, and it increases the amount of money that the royalty owner receives. However, they ask that the royalty owner share in the costs of those market enhancements, and with the provision that you will never receive less than what your standard royalty would be based on the wellhead price or whatever. So in effect, if they're deducting $2,855.35 as market enhancements, it means that the county received more than that in additional revenue over what we would have had we not had the market enhancements. So I just want to make sure that you are aware.
Can I ask one question? If you didn't have $80,000 of income and you had a $29,000 payment and they took $41,000 off, what did they take the $41,000 from?
Maybe I'm wrong about my assumption that you aren't mathematically challenged. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying in order to take something from the money off
all
there.
you have to do, Tammy, is go back and look at your current, if you had any corrections on any of the wells that you're receiving royalties on. All you have to do is go back and see where they paid you that amount in a previous month.
But they can't take it away from this month unless you had it coming to you in the first place, Greg.
They're a paging.
No,
They're just correcting.
okay.
It's an accounting, you
How
know,
can you take $20, say that you have $100. Say that right there says that you have $100 that has come in. And they corrected it by 20 bucks. If you didn't have that $100 to come off, to take away from, you're not going to have any way to pay that $20 back that they misdid up here.
they could have done, just like I told you at the beginning, they could have just put $20 on your check stub. And when they pay you $100, and then they realize that they should have paid you $120, they go back and on the next check stub, they put minus $100, plus 120. So that after those transactions, you are square with what you should have been paid. Now, it's not paid in the same month because they didn't discover it until a later month. So, anyway, that's my comments.
You got any comments? Do you have any objections if we let April go home?
No, I don't.
We just gotta go through our invoice.
After
You have any
13 hours?
Yeah. Good night, everyone. Be
Night.
careful, April.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All we have left is invoice, is that correct?
We don't have any.
Budget revisions?
There's one, last time I did a budget revision to correct the David supplement because we didn't have them correct. I did a typo or something, I put the wrong amount in, so I had to do another one to fix it.
Okay.
Would you like a copy of that? That he was paid off?
Okay.